amazing stuff. If you didn't know, Aaron does some incredible YouTube videos and totally steal. Aaron does tabletop RPG reviews on his YouTube channel, and they are so good. If you are interested at all in video essays, I highly encourage you to check out Aaron's reviews. They're not as long as maybe typical video essays. That when I say video essay, I usually think like 20 to 30 minutes to maybe an hour and a half. His are shorter than that, but they're robust, they're great. He's really doing some great things for the scene. He just posted a video review for Kaya's Untitled Moth game. I haven't had a Do you feel good about that? I was in a spiel. I was in it. Anyway, Aaron has just posted a review for Untitled Moth Game by Kaya. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I'm sure it's fantastic, as all of Aaron's YouTube videos are. I feel a little bad about the timing, but otherwise, yes, I feel very good about it. Well, first of all, let's take in this cover. There's a lot going on in this cover. We have this gorgeous font. We have the corn. Thank you. We have the gear. We have like a basketball with the colors. All of this is delightful. A couple of things to notice. We've got bookmarks, so kudos to Aaron for that. And we have a clickable table of contents, which is always good. This is only $5, and I have it in spread mode. But it's a total of 40-ish pages, so great value. So this is a setting guide. So what is Finley? Also, I don't know where the name came from. Aaron might mention it in here. I did read through this earlier, but not super closely. There's a song called Father Finley, and I can't play it for you because I don't know. I don't understand Twitch sound stuff. But the song Father Finley is really good. I'll throw it in my server for my patrons later. But it's a great song. If you love a good jam that has some religious undertones, I think it fits this setting guide perfectly. I actually should ask Aaron if he's listened to the song Father Finley, but it's rad. If you want like, I don't know how to explain it. It's got like a choir effect to it. It's got some minor like rapping hip hop to it, but also like some folk countryness to it. It's a song that spans genres. How to use a setting guide. This book is meant to help people play tabletop games and give them ideas. All right, we got it. There are some little hidden secrets and hidden stories throughout Finley. Choosing to omit certain details or change names isn't going to mess anything up. So great. So there is like lore in here. The circle of life, the circle of support, yes. So much of Finley is a flat prairie, plowed into homeland, or used to graze livestock. The southern part of the region contains large forests and sloping hills. The northern part crumbles into sandy dunes where it borders the cold sea, a massive freshwater lake formed by melting glaciers. While Finley has several major cities, half of its population lives in the scores of smaller rural villages and towns. And while these rural areas are self-sufficient, they may lack the infrastructure of more populated areas. An assembly of 99 auditors makes rulings and writes laws from the capital, which are expected to be followed by the rest of Finley's cities, towns, and settlements. Yeah, it's not spooky. The economy of Finley is based on agriculture, corn and soybean, livestock, meat, dairy. It's very Midwest. Control of these industries rests in the hands of three factions: the Shepherds, the Metal League, and the Bone Chemists. Transportation is done mostly using animal-drawn wagons or on foot. So there's magic. It's a commonplace in the engines of trucks and apothecaries' potions, but always comes at a price. While most Finleyans are affable, it is a mistake to think them weak. Few are trained warriors, fewer still are unarmed. There are more inhabitants of Finley than just sapient humanoids. The mapped prairie is a trick. The creatures watching from the cornfields are hungry. I know Aaron did some like Photoshop techniques to merge and photo bash some photos together, and I think they turned out really cool. And then we have, so a lot of this is roll tables. I'm gonna roll on stuff because I think that's fun. They take your bones and twist and sculpt them until you are perfect, says Pookie. Power players, the shepherds. The shepherds seek to bring everyone into their already massive flock. The more sheep they add to the herd, the greater their reward in the next life. Receive a tithe from all the sales of soy, corn, and livestock, by far the most populous faction. Let's see who is a leader here. I'm rolling a d6. It's a 6. Evelyn Shard Mason, weathered but precise hands, comes from a long line of prestigious greasers, but forsake her family for the flock. Wants to build a truck that wins the grudge. Ooh. What assets does she have? Threshers, modified trucks built to harvest soy and corn at a frightening pace. All sides and steel require a great deal of skill or a lack of self-preservation to pilot, often rented out to overworked farmers. Then we have the Metal League. So we have the Bone Chemists too. So don't worry, we're gonna get lore on the Bone Chemists. I know we're all very excited about it. So the Metal League is an alliance of convenience between the steelsmiths, miners, and greasers. Their monopoly on transportation, logistics, and smithing supplies keeps them busy, but makes them powerful. The annual Grudge Fest is only possible through their sponsorship and craft. Above all else, they crave respect. So let's see who's the leader of the Metal League. 4. The Grand Anchorage, slicks black hair, perfect teeth, a pain in the ass, victor of the Grudge Fest 3 years running. His title is in jeopardy after some unwise pharmaceutical investments. And then let's see, what is the assets of the Metal League? 6. Centuries of craft, family businesses, and stern, studied hands, filigreed shields, inexplicable dresses, blades, beautiful and terrible to behold. Magic items is an understatement. So their assets are master artisans. And also, look at this truck with its blades. All right, bye, Alan. Thanks for popping by. Look at the sides on this truck. So great. All right, let's learn about the Bone Chemists. A small, influential group of doctors, herbalists, apothecaries, and necromancers. They develop the rarest medicine in the world and always demand a place for them. In need of potion ingredients, test subjects, and enough muscle to keep their recipes secure. Let's see who's in charge of the Bone Chemists. 4. Gregor Annabal III. Suit and tie, winning smile, insecurity right behind the eyes, the heir to the mythical drug panacea. I don't know if that's the right. You're in charge, Josh. Facing enormous pressure to release the recipe for free. What are the assets of the Bone Chemists? 4. Scarcity. It takes years of training to be a chemist. Those who succeed are rare and in high demand. Outside the 3 major cities, there may be only one chemist for miles, meaning they can name their price. So I love that. I love that basically you create the different factions in charge of this setting. Like Aaron created them, but the tables help make them different each time you play, or if different groups playing from table to table. And obviously, if you don't want to roll, you can just choose the ones you think are the best. But I think that's a really great way to customize your experience. Yeah, I think that's cool. 2d6 for weather. Let's see what the weather is today in Finley. We got 10. Thunderstorm. Rain nourishes crops and raises rivers. It's a necessary part of agricultural life. If you listen close, in between the lightning and its laugh, you can hear the feathered prince weep. Ooh. Who is the feathered prince? Finley weather is notoriously unpredictable. Visitors carry umbrellas and snow shovels. Locals watch tornadoes from their porches. Yeah, that's totally the Midwest thing. Josh, you can't be every Every NPC. We've got some wildlife. I love wildlife. The animals of Finley are varied. There's a tiger, apparently. Beautiful and dangerous. Each creature plays an important role in its habitat. Though some may speak sweetly to you, do not forget they are wild. Joshua Gast, stealing this name. 5. A mastodon. Great woolly pachyderms with tusks that can pierce brick, roam the prairies, thundering herds. Wise and generous creatures, but known to hold grudges. I don't see the feathered prince. I'm looking at the rust tiger, which is 12. Purrs like an engine, the last sound you'll hear. Diet is anything metallic. Hunts flesh just for fun. The right sealsmith can forge its pelt into impenetrable armor. That's cool. Josh, you can't be every creature. You can be, actually. All you have to do is GM, and then you can be everyone. And then we have major cities. The court. The capital of Finley, a city of towers and yearning. Auditors. This setting is very cool. I posted the link. Time to post it again. There it is. The capital of Finley, a city of towers and yearning. Auditors write the laws, but people pay more attention to the stadium and pharmacy. Seasons come and go. Victors race round the track on the cycle of life. Hum along. Characters. Who do we meet? 2. Reverend Nails makes a mean sausage stew for the soup kitchen. A confident and advisor to many, a wayward lamb. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know why I struggle sometimes. Is worried her young apprentice is spending too much time with her good-for-nothing girlfriend. I feel like my southern accent is trying really hard to come out the more I look at this. Also, I'm loving I think this is a football guy. I'm loving... What is that? What is that? Sling ball. That's sling ball. Never mind. Let's see what event is happening on our day that we arrive in Finley. 2. Petitioner's Day. A 12-hour day, a 12-hour period wherein all Finleyans may bring their concerns to the assembly in hopes they will write favorable laws. The line stretches for miles. Only those with connections, money, or luck can actually be heard. I'm very good at sports and knowing them. Let's visit a place. 2. We're visiting the Triangle Market. Open-air bazaar full of artisans, charlatans, and hagglers. The only place in Finley to buy purple saffron, legally or otherwise. Built around a monument, the wreck of the crystal serpent. Oh, that's cool. And then we have the riverfront, and I love that that's here. I live in Missouri, which I would argue is the Midwestest of the Midwest. That's probably not true. I think Minnesotians would argue with me, but I would argue that they are Northerners. So Missouri's literally in the middle of the country. Brightwater. Northern port city on the cold sea. It's steel mills, workday, and night's smelting scrap from across the waves. Survival requires labor and grit. The people of Brightwater have both in spades. Missouri is the deep southest of the Midwest. You know, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I rolled a 6, so we're meeting in Brightwater. Cruz Valix. And they're sorry. They're using their teaching voice, force of habit, manages the classroom too small for the quantity of students scrambling about, wishes the district would give them a meaningful raise. Oh, yeah. Good luck with that in the Midwest. We don't care about teachers here. Oh, you do live in Illinois. You're here too. You know what this stuff is. What event? Missouri is the middest of the West. We're very mid here. What events are happening in Brightwater today? What do we got? 4. The Aerial Symphony. A musical performance where both audience and orchestra attend in hot air balloons. Acoustics are tricky, but princes and maestros pay through the nose to participate. The first chair wire flautist is always the most gorgeous person you've ever seen. Love that. That's really fun. Yeah, one of the only things I do here is to watch hot air balloons. Places. 3. Gregor's Marsh, a pleasant little swamp formed where the Sweet River is dammed to power a soybean grinder. Children and couples stroll along the perimeter watching mouse spiders hunt fish. An old stubborn hydrangeas among the reeds. Spider stash. Hey, thanks so much for following. Welcome in. Feel free to introduce yourself. It looks like we also have an orchard. Orchard, a forest surrounded by acres of farmland, a renowned academy, hosts thousands of inquisitive young students. The place is ripe with first loves, tremendous potential, and all balanced on a knife's edge. All right. What character do we meet at the orchard? 5. Candid Hook. Broad-billed hat, rubber boots, fishing in rod slung over a shoulder, an avid hunter, claims to have felled every animal. Stalks a cruel hydran to mount its heads over a fireplace. Cool. Hey, how's it going? Are you from the Midwest? What event are we encountering in the orchard? 3. Sowing season. It's sowing season. Farmers work till dusk, planting their crops, animals seek mates, green buds shyly sprout, the shades of the fields, and forests protect new life with their teeth. I think the one thing missing is like Midwest sayings so far. I need like, this location's saying is ope, or just gonna scooch on by ya. All right, let's look at a place. What we got? 5. The Cheeky Comet. Here you'll find potions, charms, tattoos, hot witches. A flock of corvid owls guard the doorway. A business card from an impressed employee is the only way to gain entry. Ah. Nah, I'm from California. You're free. you're not here. Local legends. Outside the major cities, Finley is the land of small towns and rolling fields. Voyage to those metropolises is uncommon, an occasion saved for birthdays, adventures, or weddings. These landmarks are more relatable to the average Finleyan than the towers of the court. So we've got a mill, a mine. Let's look. We've got. Let's get a random landmark. I don't know what we want here. Do we want the mill? I'm not gonna do all 4 of these. I'll roll a d4 to see which one I'm gonna do. I just like rolling dice sometimes. I rolled a 4, so I'm gonna use the 4th column. And then I rolled a 1. So the Richland Monuments, a splinter faction of Metal League artisans filled with the forest with strange twisted sculptures. Their work is beautiful, rugged, and patient. The commune's leader, Jan Piston, instructs runaways and misfits in the art of metalcraft. So, very cool. Then we have some more locations with more roll tables. Ooh, and we have chance encounters, and the artwork is really fun for those. 2d6. Let's see what we got. Got a 5. 2d6 mastodons. This group is panicked. They've been separated from the main herd. In exchange for directions, they welcome you to dinner. Oh, that's fun. 2, 3. I wanted one more encounter. 2d12 mercenaries. Marching in perfect order, bristling with spears, pitchforks, and scythes. They've been hired by a wealthy client, a mystery even to them. Oh, very cool. We have some treasures. Oh my god, yes. Okay, I need another d6. Here we go. Treasure time. I rolled a 15. The Ashen Crook. The name comes from the woods. It's actually stained maroon, the tool of a saint who found the first shepherd congregation in Finley. If wielded during a speech, others will find your argument strangely persuasive. That's really cool. Let's do one more. I rolled 3 1s, so that's a 3. God's Velvet Antler, a 4-pronged antler, still fuzzy. It makes you crave marrow, long to lock horns with your rivals. If you keep it for 1 month, a radiant crown of bone erupts from your skull. Your time is now. Oh, hey! Hey, Aaron, welcome in. Hey, everybody, the author is here. Be cool about the spam, all right. Aaron, oh, we're done. Well, that was it. That was so great. Aaron, how do you feel about spam? I have also never had spam, Aaron. Thank you for being sane with me. Where did you get the name Finley from? Have you heard the song Father Finley? Because I feel like it captures the essence of a lot of this perfectly. So curious. Great job on the bookmarks. Oh, you got it from here. There's blessed Indiana in thy soul are found the sure rewards of toil, where honest poverty and worth may make a paradise on earth. John Finley, the Hoosiers Nest. I have not. Finley's named after the poet. Yeah. Listen to Father Finley. For real. I think the vibes. It vibes. It's not a perfect correlation, but it definitely vibes. There's like a hip-hop, country, folk-esque piece of it. Anyway. All right, everybody. We're going to now look at Timeskip, probably much to Aaron's. Maybe he doesn't love that, but I want to look at it. I love Aaron's earlier work. I think it's great. Let me throw some... yeah, so caveat, these are some of Aaron's earlier works. I think Timeskip came out in 2021. So, I mean, I know I've learned a lot since then, so I can only assume that Aaron has as well. I do not love this. It's great. Good stuff. It's fine. It's great. So get a GM, gather supplies, get your safety tools, choose characters, choose a faction or NPC for whom each player will decide consequences, decide how long the time skip will... I should explain what the game is. Sorry. I've had this game for a while. I haven't played it, but I really love the concept of it, and I think there's some really cool stuff here. And I think you need the right group to play it, but I definitely think there's a lot of potential and a lot of interesting things happening in it. So Timeskip is a world-building tool in which characters from a previously established tabletop role-playing game campaign will rapidly advance through time. The purpose of Timeskip is to jump your characters into the future and speculate on how the time that has passed affected them. Oh, thanks. I do need to stretch. So how to play, you gather your supplies, obviously. Decide how long the time skip will last. Divide this time period into 3 equal-length seasons. Play through 3 seasons with characters taking actions and filling out character clocks. After every 3rd play, fill out a consequence clock. Once all the players have taken 3 turns, during the 3rd season, the last consequence clock has been described, the game ends. So, gather supplies, I love that there's this quick list of like, here's what you do. Like, this is great. And then he explains what each section means, which is great. Choose your characters. And I think clocks are so great. I think I want to see more games using clocks. I feel like God, when did I learn about clocks? Probably last year. In the summer, maybe? And now I want to use them all the time. I don't, but I do like them. I think they're very cool. It is recommended that each player inhabit the same character for the time skip as they inhabit in your existing campaign. All at the same time, every player should write down a motivation and flaw for their character. Love that. These should be 1-2 sentence rule of thumbs written in the first person and guide the actions your character will take over the course of the time skip. You may share your motivations and flaws, but in order to save time, it is not recommended to do so. They're so useful for long-term projects and play. Oh, absolutely. Choose a faction or NPC. Since your characters are not the only people affected by the passage of time, each player will choose one faction or NPC to keep track of. I think that's also great. I think it helps take some of the burden off. You replied? Good. Thank you. Appreciate you. The player will have an emotional or narrative connection to the faction or NPC, since the choices they make during play have significant impacts on them. Like I said, I think that's great that characters can take on the role, can help sort of facilitate NPCs, take some of the burden away from the facilitator or GM during this. Great call there. Decide how long the time skip will last, and then divide that period into seasons. I think that's great too. Divide your time. This is 17 pages too, so it's not like a small situation. I love that it's fully fleshed out. Divide your time skip into 3 sessions. In order to move the game quickly, do not spend more than 2 minutes describing your action or your character's clock or how your character's clock is filled. I don't know what you're supposed to do as like the rules maker. Like if people are saying, well, we role played too long and we couldn't finish your game. If you as a table can't facilitate Can't keep track. There's nothing I can do. I can't come to your game and say, hey, keep it moving. You gotta, but I appreciate errands. Do not spend more than 2 minutes. On their turn, a player may either perform an action or fill a character clock. To perform an action, a player must answer a question about their character corresponding to the action. Once these questions are answered, the character achieves the goal of the action. Character clocks. Character clocks are like actions, but they're split into several parts. We don't have to read through everything. I just think it's really cool that that each character has a clock that they're filling, that there are consequences, there are consequence clocks, so to speak, and it's a very collaborative way to explore a future. So especially if you're playing D&D or something like that, and you want to do downtime, but you don't want to roleplay all of it, but you maybe want to explore it a little bit more, I think this offers a great vehicle with which to do that. And it's interesting. It's a really interesting... Yeah, here are actions. Travel significant locations, start or leave a career, gain or interest or new hobby. Yeah, and then we have... He talks more about the character clocks. How to get, like, getting training, professional success. Found a new faction, like create a guild or something like that. Raise a child, that's really cool. Become the leader of an existing faction. And then we have our consequence clocks, which those are also talked about, the organizations and diplomatic. This is really cool. Go back to this, Aaron. I know you're not proud of your earlier stuff, but this is such a cool concept. This is a really cool game. And it's clear, like, you put a lot of thought and energy into this. So, and then we have an example play, which they are so important, I think, for games to just see how they work. I'm not going to read through the whole thing. And then we have a glossary. It's even glossary. That's great. And then that's it. So it's only 17 pages. It was a quick flip through. Obviously, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you all. But definitely, if you foresee like a time skip or a time jump, or you want to explore some downtime, now I might have a nicer layout. Well, there you go. Go Canva. You made this in Canva. Canva actually has like a document, like a PDF creator now. I think Craft a Kingdom was the first indie game I bought on itch. Congratulations. For getting me to finally make an itch account. I don't remember when I bought this. It was before What Crooked Roots came out. Well before, several months before it came out. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this was my first purchase. I think I had maybe downloaded a few free items, but you don't need an account to download free items, I believe. But I think this one is what? All right, making a stupid account, download the thing, hand this suspicious website my credit card. So I have fondness for Craft a Kingdom, because I was a little baby. I didn't even know what itch was when I first downloaded this. So let's take a look at it. I think it's pretty cool. When I was first going through it, I had the only games I had played up until this point were D&D and Bluebeard's Bride. I think those were the only games I had played, like tabletop RPGs, and I'd run both of them. I had someone run D&D for me, and I listened to Critical Role, but in terms of like other games, I didn't know what that meant. So Craft a Kingdom like opened my eyes to what a tabletop RPG. I still remember sitting in this spot. I downloaded the PDF, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. This is really neat. So we're gonna take a look at it. Like I said, I have a fondness for this. Again, this is one of Aaron's earliest like releases, so I know for a fact Aaron has learned a lot. So we're gonna be kind in terms of layout and all of that stuff. I don't think it's bad by any means, but I know Aaron is probably like critiquing it as I scroll through. So we have the usual table of contents. We don't have bookmarks or anything like that. That's fine. We were all figuring things out, which it's hard to have that stuff through Canva. I don't think Canva allows you to build bookmarks, or they might now, but I know for a fact they used to not. This is less than 15 pages, fewer than 15 pages. Okay, so Craft a Kingdom is a GM-less collaborative setting building game that's intended to be used as a supplement or a starting point to create a world in which your group will play another tabletop game. It is recommended to play 3 to 6 players. Sessions may last from 15 to 90 minutes. Please be advised, this game is an expansion to the original module titled Craft a King, which I don't have. I might. I bought a few of Aaron's models, so I might have it. I'm not sure, but Craft a Kingdom was what I got first. As such, many of the rules and mechanics are taken directly from that module and inclined here for the sake of continuity, which at the time, my brother was creating a setting and I used this by myself. I just kind of used it to spark ideas with my brother through text. So we didn't follow the rules, but I still found this to be a very useful and interesting supplement isn't the right word. Toolbox, I think, is a better word. Craft a King is basically a word. Stop beating yourself up. Your stuff is good. All right, we've got safety tools. That's great. Genre. Okay, so this is one of the things that I think is really cool. Genre as used in the game. So choose your genre. Sure. Pretty easy. Mechanics. Decide on a prize. A prize is a significant detail about the kingdom that only the winning player may have input on. One example of a prize is the kingdom's name. Make sure that the other details you uncover during play do not include the prize. I love that. Established phases. A phase is a topic that will guide the details you collaboratively add to your kingdom. It is recommended you have at least 4 phases in your game. You can have up to 10 in order to flesh out the kingdom's backstory. Keep in mind that it is often useful to leave gaps to be filled later. Yep, good. I think that's great advice if you're using the kingdom in a different game. The 4 recommended phases are listed in the phases section. Designate a starting player. That's great. Decide who will go first, or have each player roll a d100 with the person rolling the highest number becoming the starting player. The starting player will pick a card from a standard deck of 52 cards. They will then consult the noun table to determine what the card represents. Once they have interpreted their card, they will create 1 or 2 sentence prompts that both relates to the game, phase they are in, and includes the noun they have drawn. Add details in clockwise order. Players will roll a d100 and find adjectives that correspond on their adjective table. So, very cool. Oh, and then we have awarding points. Once every player has added a detail, the starting player will award 1 point to the player who added their favorite detail. After the point is awarded, the phase ends. The player to the left of the starting player becomes a new player, and a new phase begins. So I also like that there is a point mechanic, and you're sort of competing to be the coolest or have the coolest ideas. Once your party has moved through all the phases, each player should tally up the number of points they have been awarded. The player with the highest number of points wins and is allowed to pick the prize. Game end. Once the prize has been chosen, the game ends, and you have yourself a new kingdom. And there's an optional rule. So prizes. I love that there's example prizes. I think this is really cool. The prize is a special detail about the kingdom that only the player may decide. That only one player may decide. The player who's been awarded the most points. So the winner may choose up to 3 sentences to describe the prize. And then the examples include seasons, a prominent eatery, a significant geographic feature, a legendary creature. I think those are really cool. I think it helps everybody stay interested and involved, and then feels really rewarding at the end. And then we have our phases. Recommended phases include origins, government type, economic staples, and the justice system, which are great. This is a little tiny. I wasn't prepared. Let me scooch on in there. Then we have some optional phases that include regions, holidays, religions, customs, military, politics, landscape, education, neighbors, and iconography. So that's really cool. Oh god, the text is really small. Yeah, this could have probably been over 2 pages. It would have done. I think that would have been better. This is really small too. I'm sorry. I'm not making fun. I just think it could use a little bit of an update, you know? Example of play, decide on a genre. First, let's decide on the game. Oh yeah, we don't need to read the whole thing, but I love that there's an example of play included. That's always great. Okay. And then there's the noun table. So you draw cards And you use that to inform what's going on in your phases. And then we have the adjective table and the glossary. And I also think there's room here, like if these games were successful, if you feel like they're successful. Yes, that's what I was just about to say. A re-release as a bundle would be really cool. Doing expansions to add words would be cool. I think that's always fun. Or even sort of like Fiasco, having themed word expansions could be interesting. Because there is Microscope, and I know a lot of people like Microscope, but a lot of people aren't going to sit down and play Microscope. I think Crafted Kingdom is a fun way to sit down, have a beer, and go around the table. You know what I mean? Compared to Microscope, which isn't as easy to... I don't think it has as good of entry level, if that makes sense. No shade to Ben Robbins, but the Craft series is yes, it's way easier. It's for sure. Hey, Joel. How are you doing, bud? How's everything going? Yeah, that was everything that I wanted to look at this evening.